Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Shirtless Plantain Show. It's your host Tosin, alongside with me is Tomi. How you doing today?
Hey, I'm good, man. This season's finally over.
Yeah, we got one more game, but yeah, this is the Manchester United edition. You have two United fans on here, and we're very happy the season's over. I think that's the most important thing we can say today is the league season is over. Our
Yeah.
season ends on Saturday, but United beat Brighton 2-0, back-to-back wins at the end of the season. Doesn't really change my opinion on Eric Ten Hag. Doesn't really change my opinion on like what needs to change in the summer. But tell me, 90 plus minutes. What do you think when you watch that whole entire game?
Again, I think in the first half especially, it was still the same problems we saw before that was still going on. They were dominating, they were creating chances. And I will say we did play a bit better since he switched up and brought Amrabat in, but like you said, my opinions on the situations didn't change on what we've been saying for the past months. Yeah, still the same. But it was good to see Rasmus score and Dalot too. I give Dalot a lot of crap, but he took the goal well, good run, and yeah, good to see Rasmus. Rasmus played. He impressed me today coming on because he wasn't doing his best Patrick Ewing backing down impressions. He was allowed to run in channel, so that was good to see, and that's something I hope we utilize more. But yeah, no, same stuff we've been seeing all season. Good win, and also Brighton are just not. Ugh.
I mean, we're gonna talk about De Zerbi in a little bit, but yeah, for me, I mean, at the end of the day, people always say the players down tools. Like these players have been fighting their ass off the whole entire season. It's just they're hamstrung by bad tactics. Garnacho had his 36th, 37th start in a row. That guy's gassed. You can see how tired he is. Casemiro, bless his heart, he played well today, especially when he moved into midfield, but it's still time to upgrade. It's good to see Varanda was out there today. His last game in the league for United. Johnny Evans' last game in the league as well, more than likely. So, overall, I think that it's a solid end to the season. However, this is the worst United season I've seen in my life. 8th place, -1 goal difference. It's not good enough, man. And I know there's a lot of people going to try and, put on hope and say, well, look at the way they played here. It's just, this is not good enough, as a club. And if you're a United fan, and even if you're a football fan in general, I beg of you to go watch the United documentary on Amazon, the 99.
99.
I watched it. And I lived through that experience. Like I'm a lot older and I've been watching football forever. But I remember again, like how bad that season started. I remember how Dwight York really changed things around, and just to see the standard of excellence. This is something I keep talking about. That there's not that standard of excellence as United anymore, and we need to get back to those levels of just knowing like when to cut a play, when to all of that. So. Eric has done a solid job for 2 years, but if we want to reach those levels that we used to be at, Eric can't be the coach. I'm sorry. It just is what it is at this point. So I will say, who impressed me the most out of any player today was Carlos Balbella, the Brighton midfielder, the Cameroonian guy.
Him and Mino were battling. But yeah, I'll let you finish your thought, then I'll say who impressed me the most out of Brighton.
Yeah, like Carlos Balbella is 20 years old, right? Born in 2004, same age as Kobe, well, a year older than Kobe Mainoo, but he's impressive, man. Like, again, like I keep telling everybody, shop in League On. I'm not, like, I'm going to keep saying this over and over again until I'm blue in the face. Like, he is, he was he was at Lille for a year and he went to Brighton, and look how good he is. Again, like, this is just League On product. So he impressed me a lot today.
Their left back, Valentin Barco. I remember all the hype when the hype came out. Everyone's like FM Wonder Kid, all that stuff. And me, I randomly watch the like Copa Libertadores and Argentina and Brazilian league, and I decided to watch him, and like I was impressed, and I was surprised when they signed him for like 12 mil. They had like a free run at him. And he came, and today I was really impressed with him. I think that's another guy in a couple years they're gonna shift on for like 60 mil, and I don't know if he'll be able to. I don't know how long he can play or what his ceiling is. But today I was really impressed by him. That was who I watched the most today.
He was special. I mean, like, he was really good at Boca. I mean, shout out to Nico Canto. Nico Canto kept banging the drum about how good he is. And, I would watch a lot of Boca because that was my job to do that. And the kid is special. Like, you can't miss a redhead Argentinian kid. It's hard to miss that sort of play on the pitch. But he was impressive. I wasn't really impressed by too many United players today. I mean, we already know what they are and what they're about. I
Hmm.
do feel sorry for certain players in the team, but again, the season's over. We got one more. We got a cup final on Saturday. Who knows how that's gonna go? But like I said, Onana again. He's one person. Actually, let me say that Onana impressed me. I mean, he's calmed down a lot. I
Yes.
think that he's going to be a very good goalkeeper for us going forward, especially if we get enough plays in midfield. But again, there's just so many issues that we see throughout the season, especially in the first half. The midfield was just open and Sofian was bad. So
Yo, he had a hor. I he a couple weeks ago against I forgot who it was. Where I said Casemiro had had the worst performance. Sofian said, "I got you," and tried to one up it. Every time I looked up, or every time he got the ball, he was either losing it or passing it right to the defense, right to the opposition midfield, and it left Kobe doing so much work, which has been the story of the season. Kobe's had to do too much work for 18, 19-year-old. But yeah, Sofian had a horrible game. And honestly, like you said, I'll give Aaron Bissaka some credit today. He's been awful for no, like he was been awful for a while, like this season. But today, he did his job, and that's one thing. I always viewed Aaron Bissaka as like he should always be a career backup. Like for if it's for United or a lower league team, maybe then he can start. But if he's gonna stay at United, he should be a career backup. And he did his job, got in, defended a bit well, and went going forward. Didn't look completely lost. Boom, didn't make any mistakes like last week. That's all I can ask. But like you said, outside of that, I don't think anyone stood out too much. Mino, I think was really good. I was banging drum about him. Garnacho and Ahmad, they were cool today. And
that
Rasmus, again, I think Rasmus was the best player when he came on to me. So, and he got his goal. Besides
uh,
that, everyone else was cool.
Rasmus is showing why we why we spend so much money on him. The kid has potential.
Hmm.
I think Andy Cole said it best was like, stop trying to pin defenders back. Like you're much better when you don't do that. So he's a very mobile striker. I think that the talent is there. It just depends on who we get as a manager to nurture him and develop into a much better player. Same thing with Garnacho. He's still raw. There's
Yeah.
still a player in there. Same thing with Ahmad. Ahmad has all the talent in the world, but can we refine that? Can we make him a much better player? Definitely to upgrade their midfield, though. I think that is by far. I know people are saying center backs, this and that. Listen, your engine room right now is Kobe Mainoo, and that's about it. Scott McTominay, great servant for the club. It's time to go. Wan-Bissaka, same thing, time to go. Need a left back in the worst way. Luke Shaw, talented player, can't stay
You
fit.
can't. You
Um,
can't trust that.
no. Obviously, center backs need upgrades. And I'm going to say something crazy. I think we should go look at Serhou Guirassy. I think that would be the perfect striker to give Rasmus time to grow.
Really, I don't. Everyone keeps, and I'm like, he's 28,
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
and like I don't. I've this you suggested this idea to me before, and other United fans have. Sony even suggested Mateta, and like I'm I'm not against those signings, but I feel like we should cap if that's for more than like 30 million. I say no. We need
Yeah.
to, because honestly, I'm traumatized by signing older strikers. Outside of Cavani, I hate every and Ibra too before, but then he got injured. I think we need to keep going in the younger profile. And I don't know. I don't have any names that come to head, but I feel like we still need to keep on that younger profile. Like Grassi, again, he's good, but like again, to my knowledge, again, I watch football, but I don't watch all of it. I don't know if this is his first season where he's done. I mean, I know this is the first season where he's done this well, but I don't know how consistent he's been throughout his career. So I don't want to throw money at him for one season and then the age thing comes into effect.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say trust Ethan Whitley, because I think that would be too soon. So I feel like we need to go in the younger profile. I think max we should get like a good 26-year-old and have him be able to rotate. But yeah.
I mean, Joshua Xerxes has a $34 million release clause, but I'm not sure if Xerxes that sort of goal striker. He's a great playmaker. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, if this was 2002, Joshua Xerxes would have been an amazing two-man partnership. He would have been great for that.
Big
But I don't
man,
know.
little man.
Not even big man, little man. He is a big man. He's a big kid.
How
Joshua
tall? How
Xerxes.
tall is he?
I think he's like 6'1", if I remember correctly.
Hey,
Uh,
I
no,
love that then.
I'm sorry, I lied. He's 6'4".
God, he's 6'4"?
Yeah,
He's 6'4" moving like that?
yeah.
Hey, yo.
He moves a bit like Kanu.
Bro. Because I always just thought he was like he had just long limbs. Like, I didn't think he was small, but I thought like Max, he kept out like 5'10", maybe 6 foot. 6'4" is crazy. I
Yeah,
like that. I like that. Yeah.
yeah. He's 6'4", and he's a he's a he's a kid that comes from the school of low socks.
See, again, I there's certain positions that if they don't match a certain aesthetic, I don't like you. And I'm starting to love my attacker. If your socks aren't above your knees or low socks, I don't want you. Look at Garnacho and Rashford, Garnacho, Rashford and Ahmad, long ass socks. I love it. Like
Mhm.
if your socks aren't above your knees or low socks, keep it. Mm-mm. All that mid socks nonsense for my attackers. Ugh, that's that woke football.
He said we ain't doing that here today, not in the
No.
slightest. No, I mean, but today, I mean, honestly, there's not really much to take away from United, right? Obviously, it's like we know what the issues are at the club. We saw Jason Wilcox over there talking to Sir Dave Brailsford. I'm sure like those two guys have an imagination of what they want to do. So it's been a tough season, man. Who's been your player of the year for you?
Player of the year. I see a lot of Dalot shots online, and I push back against that. If I'm gonna have to give it to someone, I have to say Bruno. Bruno impressed me a lot. The bad times were awful this season. Again, the bad times were very bad. Like there were some times where I'm like, chuck this man into the sun, and go get Hansen Aaron back from Werder Bremen. But I would say Bruno because again, the best ability is availability. He was always there for us. He was always trying stuff, and I will always give him credit for that. And when he decides to play with this and not just playing shot clock football, I think he's sensational. There's a reason he tops the creative chance list and every season. There's a reason he constantly gets us damn near 20 plus goals and assists a season. I would say him. And then I would put Dallo second. And honestly, for a rogue shout, because I don't think anyone else deserves it, Johnny Evans, man. That man came in, did his job, and played through injuries, and he fought. So yeah, I think he deserves some sort of recognition. Old Man of the Year award.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think Bruno should be our player of the year. Bruno or Dalot. The two Portuguese guys have been amazing for us. And like you
Mhm.
said, Johnny Evans came in and he did his Al Horford, did his best Al Horford impression. Old man still getting buckets.
You feel
So
me?
yeah, so I hate cross sport comparisons, but there's the old man right there still playing defense, doing 3 and D. So good for him.
Remember that pass he pulled off to Bruno for the against Crystal Palace, that wonder goal. And I remember people like, oh, I didn't know Johnny Evans had this. I'm like, bro, y'all don't remember Johnny Evans. Like
That's what Johnny Evans was known for.
this is
Was
his
his
bag.
passing. Yeah. Yeah. Johnny Evans is it's always nice to see academy players do well, man. Even seeing
Yeah.
Welbeck today made me happy. I was like,
Man. Yeah.
it's always nice to see see former United players just doing well. I mean, Evans has been United since '06, bro. He made his debut in '06.
He made
So
his debut 17 years ago. Like my little brother is 17. He made his debut like the year before my little brother was born. I was like, oh my god.
yeah, I mean, he made his debut at the 2007-2008 League Cup. So yeah, I mean, Evans has been a solid guy for United throughout his career, and it's good for him to come back. I'm sure he's probably done at the club because Bodino B Firewood he cannot be
Bro,
going up
that
and
man
down.
needs to go. He needs to go that Phil Jones route. Go be a coach. Look at the youth teams. They won a damn near treble. Hey, go. Go
Yeah, I
join
mean,
them.
I'm just very impressed with just like the fact that the season's over and like we can breathe again. Because the only thing we have is hope, right? That's the only thing
That's
we
it.
have is
That's
hope.
it.
Hope springs eternal, or whatever they say. So we can only hope that United gets better. We can only hope that things change next season. Who would you say what would you say the positions we need the most next season?
I'll give you three. Like you said, we need midfield. I think that should be the number one thing, and not just any midfield. We can't just go out and buy any midfielder. Because I remember we said we needed a midfielder when Ole was here, and they came back with Van de Beek. That was stupid. We already have an attacking player. We need that like holding DM. Because honestly, this season I realized Kobe is not a six. He can play six very well, but I think that doesn't do his talents well. He's an eight who can play like right behind, like not behind, but like push up with Bruno, but play a little more withdrawn with him. I think we need that holding six that's athletic and can move and that's good on the ball. Kapram Turam, the more I watch our midfield, the more I want Kapram in. So him. And don't speak to me about Onana. So I say midfield, we need that bad. And center back, because Varane's leaving. Lindelof should be gone. Johnny Evans is leaving too. Maguire, his future's up in the air. I don't want to say Lissandro's injury prone, but we still don't know. But either way, and I like Kwambala, so we should keep him. But I feel we still need another center back in, and Euro, Real Madrid put out of the race. Get him if you can. Shop in League One. Give me a League One center back. I trust them. If it's Euro, if it's Todibo, please, you get me one of them. And for the last one, I don't think we need a right winger anymore. I think we need to trust Ahmad and Garnacho on that side, or Ahmad and yeah, we're not trusting Pelistri, but yeah, I don't think we need a right winger right now. And it's between striker and left back, because I think our fullback depth is not good. It's
No,
not good, and I
no.
don't like it, especially with like the two right backs we have. They can both be upgraded on, absolutely. Like Dallo, cool, but we can definitely upgrade on that. Luke Shaw's not to be trusted at all. And the only other left back we have, that man is in witness protection program running from Quincy Promise. So I don't know. We need someone either, and I don't think we should just fully throw in Harry Amas in there yet. He's still 17, still growing. So I would say honestly, get me. But again, we only have one recognized striker at the club next season, because Martial is gone. Not Get me a striker. Get me a striker, because yeah, get me a striker. Like we have the bodies at fullback, but we don't have anyone at striker. So I'll say center mid, center back, and striker in that order.
I agree with you, but I'm greedy. So I definitely feel we need to get a left back, center back. My center back choices will be Lenny Yoro and Jared Braithwaite. I think that those two guys are it. And get
Hmm.
Tosin on the free.
Yeah. Oh
Like,
my God. Yes. I
and
even wanted
then
to bring him up. Please, please
yeah.
get him on the free.
And then in the midfield, Yusuf Fofana has a year left on his contract. That's somebody who I really like. Got called up to the French national team for Euro, so I really like Yusuf Fofana. I'm not too sure about Kefren Turam. I love Kefren. I love his size. I love he's a big kid. So
Hmm.
I'm not sure if he's ready for that move yet. But Kefren is a talent. I still do think we need a right winger, especially if we sell Anthony. I think that I'm a big fan of Michael Elise. I think what Elise brings to the attack is a lot different than what a Namab would bring.
Hmm.
Elise is more of like a slower, wider playmaker. But again, this is all down for Ineos, bro. We can sit
Yeah.
here and play Football Manager all day, but
I
yeah,
agree. And okay, the thing, like what you said about Kepler him like being, this is a bit of an unpopular school of thought, but I want us to go for more of those type of players where they are right there. They may not be exactly ready. They may need a year and a half, two. I think those are the players we should be buying right now and then develop them here. So like by the time they are ready, they're ingrained in how the manager and how the club wants them to play. Because, like, for example, Valentin Barco, whoever ends up getting him from Brighton is going to have to pay a premium. So I think if you get them right before they make that move, it's smarter. But again, this is me playing Football Manager, I guess. So I'll concede that point. This is me playing with Football Manager brain. Like I know a lot more stuff goes into that than just, oh, this is a good player, let's buy him. But I feel like we should be looking for more of those players who's like they're they're at the cusp of the next step, and you should trust them, or you should trust your manager enough to get them ready for the next step. you'll agree there's going to be some growing pains, but
100%.
it's something you can live with because you know what you're gonna end up with.
I'm gonna double down on your point. I remember when Sir Alex got rid of Paul Ince and those guys back in, like, the mid '90s, and he
Mm-hmm.
went to go trust Scholes and Beckham and all those guys, right? I know there's a lot of pushback, and they suffered for a little bit, but it's that same core he trusted that won them the Champions League in '99. It's the same core that won them the treble. So it's just like, at this point, United should knock a lot of players out the squad and just do a
Yeah.
complete rebuild with just talented players. Just believe in them and trust in that process of just like, yo, we're gonna suffer for a little bit, but we got to keep our heads down. Look at Arsenal. I know, like, they finished second, whatever, but they have a really young squad. They're gonna be fine, completely
Mm-hmm.
fine. Chelsea too. They have growing pains, but Chelsea has a lot of young talent. So sometimes you just gotta trust in this young talent and just make sure you have a good pathway for your academy players to come through as well, because this is, a very talented generation of Man United players.
Speak.
Um,
I was
Go
about
ahead.
to say, speaking of academy players, is there any ones that are like on the fringe of the first team or out on loan that you want to see in and around the first team squad?
Daniel Gore.
Thank you. He's the first name that came to mind. I want to. I don't want to see him on loan next season. First of all, we sent him on loan to a third League Two side. I
Yeah,
think that
Port
was a
Vale.
bit dumb. Yeah, Port Vale. I want to see him in and around the squad. Let him play some Carabao Cup matches. Let him sneak in the FA Cup last couple minutes. Like how you used Zidane, Iqbal, and Kobe last year. I think Daniel Gore should be used like that next year and a bit more because there's talent there. And yeah, and selfish. I'm selfish. I want to see handball in the squad. I don't care. He's good.
Yeah, I also think that Max Oyedele is someone that we could maybe convert into a right back. We'll see about that. I think he's a good player. But
Mm-hmm.
before we head out of here, I want to talk about Roberto De Zerbi. I wanted to tweet this and like tweet about it longer. I personally think he should go back to Italy. I know they don't really rock with him back home, whatever. I know he's leaving Brighton officially now after the
Mm-hmm.
game's over. I think that he should go back to Italy. I think that Milan has such an interesting squad that with his tactics, he could do a lot of good in Milan. I think that there's a lot of good that can come from him being at Milan. Um, Even Juventus, if they don't go for Thiago Motta, or even Bologna, Bologna needs to go to that next step. So I think that he's a talented manager. I think that he should go home. I think that understanding Serie A, understanding that he speaks Italian naturally, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
that he should go home. And I think that there's a lot of a lot of upside of him doing that. I don't see Barcelona being a good fit for him. I don't see.
Really?
No, I don't. That's a club that has way too much chaos and way too much turnover right now.
Yeah.
That's a very volatile club right now. He needs to go somewhere that's stable. And I wouldn't say go to Napoli because they're a mess.
No,
ADL,
no. Everyone should avoid Napoli. Like the play. Napoli is just not a. It's not a fun place.
yeah. And I don't see him coming to United. I don't think he's ready for that. I think that, first of all, you're 46 years old and you have spiky hair, so I don't think you're ready for United. But he's a good manager. I just don't think that he's ready for that level of like intensity. So yeah, I think that Brighton do play attractive football. It's just not. They need to finish, bro. I mean, obviously they've had a lot of injuries. Sean,
Mm-hmm.
Evan Ferguson's been hurt a lot this season. So yeah, I mean, I don't know where he's gonna go. I just think it's smart for him to go back to Italy. I think 100% he should go back to Italy.
I I view him as I don't want to say this without sounding too blasphemous, but I view him in the same vein as sort of like I can't remember, I forgot his name, Bielsa. Where like I'm not saying he's at that like I'm not saying he's as good, but I feel him in the same vein. Like the manager that's he won't take he's not ready or good enough for a top job, but he will always be that guy that takes a team to the next level. Like you said, Bologna. I feel like if Thiago Motta leaves, I'm pretty sure he's then gonna end up at Juventus. Because they sacked that
Allegri.
yeah, they sacked that terrorist 2 days ago. So I think Thiago Motta there is all but certified unless Barca swoop in last minute, which I doubt. But I think De Zerbi is that manager that will be like, okay, we're on the cusp of qualifying for Europe, fighting for like a domestic cup, qualifying for Champions League, winning Europa. I think that's the type of manager De Zerbi is. I don't know if I see him at a top club. The the best club again, I don't know if the only top club I see him at is Barcelona. But like you said, that turmoil, that chaos, especially not even just from the board, from the media, which is why Xavi said he left. Like he said, the way the media was talking, all that stuff, like it was just too much. I don't see him at Bayern. Bayern have their own mess, but also Bayern is that club that we need like instant gratification, and I
Yeah.
don't think that's De Zerbi. So I do like the Bologna shout and Milan too. That's another, Milan and Barca are like the only two top clubs I see him at. Besides that, I don't see him at United, and honestly, I don't want him at United. So, but I do agree with you there. Yeah.
This has been officially Man United's worst season since 1989-90. So that's the year that I was born. That's how bad we've been.
This
Since,
man didn't he concede like 80? We conceded 81 goals this year, right? Or is it?
I'm gonna double check right now because I want to make sure that we have the statistics correct. Man United lost 14 games, drew 6, won 18, conceded 50.
Oh no, that's in the league was 50. I meant overall in all
Yeah.
comps. I'm pretty sure it was 80 something.
Yeah, it was really bad. It was really, really bad. It wasn't a good season. It's not a good season at all. And the thing is, there's talent there, right? That's the thing. Is just like there's talent at the club. It's just it's bad, man. It's I'm glad we didn't get Europe. I'm glad we're not going to Europe. We're not going to Conference League. Leave that for Newcastle. Leave that for
I mean,
Chelsea to go to
if we
Europa
win
League.
the FA Cup, we're in Europa.
That's a lot of ifs. Are you Davido?
Oh my days.
It's
Hey,
horrible.
listen, I think we could do it. Also, wait, speaking of, I was thinking this. Controversial, I think Garnacho should not start that final. I think the front three has to be Rashford, Højlund, and Ahmad. That's my thing. Not that Garnacho's been bad or anything, but again, part of it plays into the 36 starts in a row. He can, like, come on, man. You can't keep doing this.
Yeah,
Rashford
I
is
mean,
fresher. I think Rashford is better. And then Ahmad is better off the right. And Højlund, we've seen what Højlund can do when he's allowed to play his game. And also, last season, what was Garnacho's best thing? Coming off the bench to run at tight defenders, run at tight legs, and cause problems. And I think we should utilize that in the final.
I agree. But again, we don't know what Shaqiri's gonna do. He might end up starting Anthony because that's just who he is.
God,
So
he's so bald, man. Oh my.
it's impressive though. Anthony hasn't played in back-to-back games, man.
What? Come on, man. Listen. That's what I'm more happy about that than the 2-game win streak. Anthony, we may have finally defeated the evil.
We haven't really. But listen, season's over. We got one more game. We'll do a proper United review next week. They beat Brighton 2-0, 2 good goals. Dalot ghosted in and finished, and Rasmus did a bit of individual brilliance, which shows how good he is. So United beat Brighton 2-0, finished 8th. Not the best season at all. Thank God it's over. We got one more to go, like we said. I think that's it for us, man. You got anything else you want to add about United before we get out of here?
Like I've been saying for months now, just win me that FA Cup, Baldy, and you can peace out.
Well, I mean, there was a different Dutch manager that won FA Cup and got fired. So
listen, history sick, whatever. I can't. No, English not my first language.
History cyclical. That's what
there
you want
we
to
go.
say. Yeah, I know that's what you want to say. If you want to say it, Yoruba, you can say it before we get out of here.
I'm about to get more song, but
Mi officer. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is your host Tosin. This is Tomi again. Thank you guys so much for listening. Once again, shout out to Believe Network. This has been a long, arduous season, and guess what? We go again because there's no rest in football.
never.
So thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen, for listening. I'm Tosin, your host. We're out. Everyone take it easy. Peace.
Peace.
Take your shirt off. Take your shirt off.